Olaho. Welcome to I forgot the name of the podcast for a second. Welcome to Aural Hygiene, where we talk about experimental films, weird documentaries, and educational films, which I had left educational films to last today. Okay, because this is definitely in the educational pocket. It is the Accident Report, prequel to Minority Report, I believe. Or not, I don't know. This is Matt. With me today is Andrew Shearer. Hello.
Hi, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to stifle my laughter at that joke because you hadn't introduced me yet and be like, well, who's this asshole laughing?
Well, it's always fun when the guest starts talking before, and you're here every Monday
Okay.
anyway. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't say with guest Andrew Shearer. I'm just like, you're here, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's on my calendar yeah, when we record, it just pops up.
Right.
It's part of my life, and
There we
everyone
go.
listening is now part of my life as well. Welcome.
So today's film, I sent to you based on the thumbnail.
That the guy's ring looks like an eyeball coming out.
Yeah, you have to look at it closely before you.
I
But
love it.
yeah,
No, I got to be honest with you, man. When you said you were doing educational film podcasts and you started to send me videos, this, this is what I was expecting. This is
right.
what I think. I think of the ones that you would show me when you first were getting into those and you had the DVDs and stuff, and you knew that I like a horror, so you were all trying to show me the bloodiest ones.
Yeah, I do like the ones that warp your brain, but what happens in this one exactly? Can you give us that
Okay,
TV guide summary?
yeah, so this is one was made in '82, I think. So this is like the kind of one of the later era ones. This was long after your standard, like some of the ones we've talked about had already come out. And so, yeah, this is how accidents happen. This shows a portrait of, I think, three people. Two of them get injured on the job. One of them dies. And they save him for last. But you know at the beginning that he died. You see him zipped up in a body bag. You don't know what happened to him. You gotta wait. So there's suspense in this one.
Yeah, he ripped his sack, lifting the sack.
A guy did tear his sack on the sack, yeah.
I think that was the first shot. No, that was the first shot of the movie, not the
Yeah,
body
no,
bag. But
no, that guy was like, "Arg!" and they freeze frame him. You're like, this is gonna be so good. Either that, or you better come. I better get a return on this investment with this guy. Ah.
yeah. Anyway, the makers of this movie are not into YOLO. That's for sure.
No, no,
That was kind of
absolutely not.
actually the Lonely Island video for that was kind of popping in my head a few times watching this film.
I mean, these are not like young people on the job with flexible bodies and a lot of it's a little bit of bend to them. These are all people who are, yeah, at least 30 and above, who they're all, I mean, they talk about the reasons why people get in accidents. This actually does have some good information that I think still applies. Um, but the way it shows these things happen is corny as hell, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, you don't want to be running down flights of stairs when you're like a frumpy 45, right?
Except the man running down the concrete steps with the newspaper, man. I've done that. I've done that, fully done that more than once.
I usually fall up
But
the
I was young.
stairs.
Oh, like miss a step and just eat shit?
Something like that. The most fun was actually in Athens. I had when I was doing the radio gig there, and I at the student center I tripped up the stairs and like twisted my ankle, and I went on and started doing my shift. And after like 2 minutes, I just had to be like, "Someone take over." I was
Oh
trying to be
man.
on the radio while having a freshly twisted ankle.
Did Wait, did you go on air sounding like that? Or did you not even make it to air? You sat down and went, no.
No, I made it. I was on air for a little bit, but I mean, I wasn't like talking like this. I was talking like this. I was just like feeling like, oh my god. So
Oh,
I
you
ended up.
held it in. That's a professional right there.
I ended up pogoing out on one foot from the memorial hall, not safe, and then taking the bus, and then the bus at the university drops you off. It's like a good 200 meters away from the health center, so I had to like pogo those 200 meters as well.
Were you on crutches after that or no?
Yeah, and at the time I was driving a clutch, so I actually had my dad had to drive out to Athens and bring me the automatic, and then he took my clutch, my car, so I could drive the bus still, but I couldn't drive my car.
my God, you were
Oh,
driving
oh,
students around.
the first day I had to get a ride to go drive the bus.
That is so. Oh man,
So
I'm glad.
there's my accident, man.
I can't say I've had like an on-the-job accident. I know over my period of time as a news production employee, I worked nights doing all kinds of stuff with a giant printing press and metal plates and chemicals, photographic chemicals. I know I mixed the wrong thing a few times and like breathed in this horrible cloud of I don't know what. So, but as far as the reasons why these people in this movie are making mistakes, I believe one of them, everybody is trying to get off of work, right? What was the reason? One lady is like, got to do something before she leaves, so she's hurrying. The guy who
Right. That.
died. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. She was just in a hurry. That's all.
She was
Go ahead. The guy who died.
the guy who died. He was also trying to leave, and his boss is like, "Before you go, do this thing that might kill you." And he's like, "Do I have to?" He actually is giving him shit, like, fix that, and then don't bother coming back, is what his boss should have said. But what was the other person? There was one other character, I can't remember how they got hurt.
There was a
The guy
killer
with the
file
blowback.
drawer.
Yeah, the file drawer was great.
I thought, yeah, it made me think of the Mangler, where it's like
Yeah.
you really have to get in and explore that laundry press before it's going to mangle you. I mean, you really need to get up and close with the Mangler.
Yeah, the Mangler's all sitting there like, "Look, I know I'm possessed and I feed off of blood, but I'm really giving you a chance right now." I mean,
Just
fully
stay
had the
over
chance.
there. Just stay over
Yeah.
there. That's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do. So by the time you get your head up in here, you kind of deserve it. So don't
Right.
scream. Let it
Uh,
happen.
I was going to mention a almost workplace accident a few weeks ago, where we're cleaning. In Japanese companies, you got clean too. There's not a cleaning staff, and one of the guys, real chill guy. So you have to imagine kind of like the dude telling you this, right? Shorter
Okay.
haired dude, but he went and he cleaned the tables with alcohol, and they're like, no, we want you to do it with this bleach or whatever, COVID or whatever, right? So he does that, and then I see him a few minutes later. He's opening windows. Like, yeah, I think I just accidentally chloroformed everybody because he had mixed alcohol and bleach.
Oh my God. That's close to what I did, but I don't think I got anybody but me. But it was a face full. Yeah, that's for sure.
Now he was going to
And
chloroform
some
all of
of it
us.
is carelessness. Yeah. No, and then the party began.
It's like with a movie
Yeah,
though, when they
I don't.
just put over their mouth and they like pass out, it takes like 5 minutes or something.
Well, a movie, who can wait that long? It's fantasy, right?
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
choking
I
scene,
don't.
same
I think
thing.
most of the injuries I got were just minor slices of the finger and whatnot from working with X-Acto blades, and I think the end of a tape dispenser got my thumb one time. No, it was pretty. I can't say I ever really got hurt like that. But there were ways to get hurt. I knew a guy who ran his finger up into the printing press and lost the end of his finger there.
I
And
think that
he always
happened to
was missing.
Black Sabbath's guitar player too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because he had this special pick. That's right. I
Yeah.
heard that story. But there are. You ever hear those things where, like, how do you know the good railroad worker or whatever? The dynamite guy is always missing a hand or a thumb. I'm like, is that the good guy, the best guy, the guy that's missing the thumb? Wouldn't the guy that's not missing any fingers be the best one to hire? I don't understand this.
See, in Japan, they assume if you're missing a digit, then you're part of the mob.
Okay, that's a whole other thing.
But yeah, I was thinking most of my workplace accidents would actually be on the way to or from work, like the tripping up the stairs.
Right, but were you in a hurry? Were you still like subject to the circumstance under which the people in the movie had accident?
No, I wasn't really in a hurry. I just tripped up the stairs. Another time, this was in Japan, where there was like a bunch of gravel. I was going around a curve, and probably there's the safety thing. My tires probably were not fully inflated, right? Because I was riding an old bicycle, but it slipped. There's a bunch of gravel, and the bike wheel slipped out, and I ended up like shredding the side of my leg.
Oh man. Oh, did you get the hamburger leg?
Yeah, something like that.
Road Rash, I think.
I did work later that day, but yeah, I needed a new pair of pants. Will
Yeah.
Forte style, Fortin with Forte, if you remember that. Just
Right, yeah.
always have another pair of pants ready.
You know, the person that I had emergency pants in my desk drawer for a long time for corporate visits and just throw them on. Uh, One thing they didn't seem to mention is the accident prone individual, someone who's just naturally clumsy. You know, the kind of person that drops everything they pick up, in a given day at least once.
I think that's
You
a
know,
frame of mind.
yeah.
Because I used to be very accident prone, clumsy. Maybe I thought it was like an endearing personality trait, and then I was tired of getting hurt and stuff. So that doesn't happen anymore.
Okay. Yeah, but this movie has such great payoff. I'll tell you my favorite shot, the guy that's working the electric cutter, right? He's doing bookbinding or whatever, so he's got these large reams of paper being sliced, and this woman comes over and leans in to talk to him, just puts her hand dead ass under the blade. They don't show the fingers getting cut, but they show it go down and they show her face. Ah! It was so good. It was like a Final Destination movie, just you know.
Yeah,
It,
this is the final destination strain of educational film when you get because whenever you see someone, something's going to happen, and it tends to escalate as the film goes.
yeah, you don't get a shot of the. Do you get a shot of the woman who fell down the stairs? Because I get that great freeze frame of her slipping, and I think there's also a shot of her landing, but I don't remember the
I was
shot
about to
of the
say they have
guy
her
doing.
landed, but
Yeah, there's a man that does a full tumble down the stairs, and that's a good one. That's a good stunt. But I believe, yeah, your best payoff. The guy pulling up, tearing his sack on lifting the heavy bag, is not. It's more in his face, but the payoff for this movie is definitely the story that's the main story about the one who actually dies.
right,
And he what was it? He was fixing some breaker or whatever, and he didn't want to go around to cut off the power to it. So he just left a note: "Don't trip this because it's being worked on." And a forklift drove by, and the note blew off. And now Jim is about to eat shit, and so it shows him like ah, but his face is
shit.
covered in blood for some reason, and he's holding his hands over his face, and his ring look yeah, he's got this ring that fully looks like one of his eyeballs popped out. That had to
Right.
have been on purpose. It had to have been on purpose.
Yeah, of course. I mean, let's face it, they probably had a whole lot of fun shooting that scene.
Oh, it must have been great. Oh man, if only to be a special effects person and an actor in a safety film, what a great gig that would be, you know, except for the few times that someone actually got, crushed in a drill press or something like that. But
You
yeah,
use
they have
you gotta use
the
two
song.
magnets so your important note will stay.
Yeah,
One
I know,
magnet's not
really,
enough.
like, no, no, I mean, how important is, but he was just in a hurry and he was pissed. He's like, man, I'm trying to leave work. Like, man. But they said some cheesy, corny, shitty thing about him too. Like, now he's dead and he's now got the day off forever. It was some kind of thing. It wasn't that, but it was some kind of thing that they made fun of him a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I just kept writing things like use the stairs properly, biatch. But oh, we
Beware the stare.
we do need to talk about our narrator, who's a brain, a condescending brain.
Yes, thank you for mentioning it. The whole movie is narrated by a brain with so much reverb. Like, it's almost ghostly. It's borderline Faces of Death. You remember Faces of Death?
Everybody remembers Faces of Death.
Okay, well, I said fake. Faces of Death was this fake as hell video series in the early 80s that was supposedly all like clips of around the world newsreels and footage of people having actually dying, right? And so that reminded me of Faces of Death, that narrator, because in the Faces of Death, it's narrated by either a mortician or something like that,
Yeah,
or an or someone who's researching death, and so it's all like flat, uncaring, very like utilitarian narration.
that guy,
So
the guy researching death, he'd be fun at a party.
he would, he would. It's like, hey man, you want some pretzels? That reminds me of
Or more
Plastic
salad.
surgery training. Plastic surgery training, how? You're
Well,
like,
just
oh
just
man.
well, if that guy at the party happens to be Jeffrey Combs, it would be pretty cool.
Now that would. That
Um,
would, man. Don't make him mad talking about an additional 6 to 12 minutes. He'll snap that pretzel. I suggest you get yourself another pretzel.
Yeah, don't break the pretzels. Just eat the pretzel if you dare.
Don't man, don't be talking to Herbert about it. But no, like I said before, this is what you want. This when you're talking about educational, like funny ones or whatever, I always tend to think about the accident ones. And if you remember when we were doing the car one, the driver safety ones, I was looking for one with some blood. But honestly, this the workplace safety with the gore. I mean, I know there's probably gorier ones out there. There has to be because I know you showed me some that were gorier than this. But this is the best mix of like haha funny workplace follies and the blood that everyone let's admit, um the blood and gore is is it is like awesome because of how repellent it is.
I, actually, just last night you were talking about the reverby voice, and I wonder if this is where they got the idea from. Is there's another Disneyland ride is Adventures in Inner Space,
Mm.
but it had Paul Frees as the narrator, like heavily reverbed. So it was a similar thing, and he was supposed to be. You were supposed to be hearing the echoes of the first scientist who went went to like the Ant-Man universe or whatever, and he's the narrator.
Yeah,
But it sounded pretty similar to that. So
yeah, this guy just doesn't care about anybody. I mean, he's like, if there's any inflection, it's a kind of dark amusement about the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. As a brain, I don't need to worry about this shit. I don't know. A brain would need to worry. That's where you process this shit. So I don't know.
I know, and there's one part where a knife is shown cutting the brain and cleanly in half, and I'm just going like, yeah, you know
Narrator
who's
shouldn't
one.
be happy about that.
No, no.
It's
It
like,
would have
what are
been
you
funny if
doing?
the narrator,
What are you doing?
if it started to cut in half, the narrator's like, what, or just continue talking is about, like, it's important to
Daisy,
2436.
Daisy.
Start saying like piano lessons and shit.
Yeah, that would have been fun. That'd be a good ending for this one. But oh, I do have to ask again. In Japan, we do wear seatbelts. Is that still a thing in the States?
Wearing seatbelts?
Not wearing seatbelts. I just felt like seatbelts are an obvious thing, or maybe I'm safety lame. I don't know, but
I mean, you hope that people are wearing seatbelts, but I can tell you that, um, yeah, a lot of accidents are reported. People die because they weren't wearing a seatbelt. They fly out of these cars, and people got these SUVs, these giant gas guzzlers, and they think this is their protection, and they can get in these things, and you're basically in some kind of Sherman tank that doesn't require any safety on your part at all. That you'll live through anything.
one catch. I think I this was before I actually watched this one, but now that I'm watching educational films every week, I think it was last week where I'm walking by and they're doing the electrical work, and as I walk
Mm.
under, I was like, gee, I hope they watch their safety film because
Yeah, no, yeah, most places that have anything, even cleaning products, there's going to be some kind of OSHA requirement where you got to, sign off that you've been instructed on how to deal with, these cleaning products, or, up until heavy machinery, depending on where you work. And so, uh, it's the safety video is, obviously this is old and out of date in terms of how it looks and everything, but this I would call a classic of these. It's
yeah.
great.
Oh, maybe it's for the future, but definitely a place for safety. Have you ever seen those videos of the tower climbers, the guys that maintenance large towers?
Yeah, but it was like a GoPro video, and so someone had it on their helmet, so I haven't really, what I'm saying, like if there's a safety video for them, I've not seen it.
There must be, but even the GoPro thing that'll make you crap yourself watching those.
It's the worst. It's awful. And I
Just
don't know why I watch it, because I'm sitting there with you know, my stomach in my throat watching this YouTube video. It's like, "God, this isn't right." But yeah,
then
they're up at the parkour people, you know, they get to the top of the Space Needle and just start jumping down like an ape. You're like, this could easily be a snuff video, you know?
No, I've heard of things where, like, someone has like a snack, like just like an apple or something, and you're halfway up the tower, and your buddy's like 20 meters down. You just killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
With an apple.
Yeah. No. Whoops. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's for real. You drop a penny, it goes right through his hand.
So we're not making fun of safety rules. That's important stuff. But when you have a giant reverberating brain telling you this stuff condescendingly, it's a whole different story.
It is, and you wonder, like, is this how you were trying to be taken seriously by these employees? Like, really, it's distractingly corny. Like, how are you going to take man holding his face bloody seriously if a brain is telling you this shit? You know, it's a little bit counterintuitive, I think.
So what's your unsafe habit?
What's my unsafe habit?
Mine is standing on chairs that I shouldn't be standing on.
Oh, I got that bad. Because I am not supported by these things, I'm sure. That's a bad habit. My other one, and I hate to even say this. I have used a chainsaw while wearing short pants.
Oh, right.
That is a huge no-no.
But you had the goggles? You had the goggles?
Yeah, and I had the gloves, which are Kevlar. I mean, but yeah, I just, like, how you're cutting something and you catch something and it kind of moves away.
Oh,
I'm like,
the shrapnel, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
I've never chainsawed. I haven't had my time with the chainsaw. Still have both hands, so.
Well, as a horror movie fan, my first time with a chainsaw, yeah, a little ironic. But I but I think because of all the chainsaw deaths I've seen in movies and stuff, I may be more aware than I normally would be about the ways that it can disassemble you.
Right. So the thing, you see a film like this, you're like, I don't want to be that dumbass that just went down. I mean, the woman looked like she went down the stairs on purpose, right? Like she's a stunt queen or something.
Yeah, you can almost imagine down the stairs that, like, she happened to see, Ted Nugent was at the bottom. Oh my God. Which then would have, I guess, now caused her to turn tail and run the opposite way and call the police. But
well, if you're falling, you're gonna have the same expression either way. You can't turn around at that point,
No, it's like, you kind of know, anyone who's ever eaten shit on a bicycle or skateboard knows there's that moment where you're like, oh, it's happening. You get a moment of feeling like a total asshole. It gives you some, it's that air in between the impact, and you just get.
But the exciting thing is that's where time and space breaks down for a bit. So you have to appreciate the moment.
It does. That car accident that we were all in when we were teenagers, not you, Lucky.
I went home that day.
Yeah, several of us were. Yeah, my memory of that whole impact is super detailed and slow.
Right. No, yeah, I remember having a car crash, and not like that one, but yeah, same sort of thing. So it happens.
Yeah. No, I remember the song on the radio. I remember the things people were yelling. I mean, it was all just very, and I remember thinking, fuck, right before I went into the windshield.
So yeah, we're not besmirching safety, just these films, which are highly enjoyable, of course, too.
They are, and you picked a great one, and you were always good at picking great ones, man. This is one that I think if the listeners have not watched, watch it all the way through. It's got great payoff.
Like I said, I feel like I'm saving Shake Hands with Danger for a special occasion, but this is definitely in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I'll just watch it again just for fun.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Let's do the blurb and stuff. Tell them where to find you.
Yeah, man. So speaking of violent movies, I don't make so much horror anymore, but I definitely have surprising instances of lots of blood. My friends and I here in Athens make movies, and you can find those for sale on gonzoriffic.com, GONZORIFFIC. We got a lot of free stuff on our YouTube channel, and you can follow all our socials on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
Facebook. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this podcast is Aural Hygiene Pod, also Facebook, Twitter. And if you want to hear some music I make, although it doesn't have the music from this show, but that's at rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com. If you wanted the music for this show, you'd actually have to go to damagedtape.bandcamp.com. And one day I'll be not lazy and put them all in the same place, but that
Still
hasn't
damaged tape.
that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened yet. Well, it's just like I have to download those albums from the site because the artwork's there and not on my computer, and I just can't be bothered.
Oh, it sounds like it'd be faster anyway.
Yeah. So for now, I got 2 music sites, and then probably another ghost one or two I've forgotten about. So anyway, stay safe. Don't go falling downstairs, sticking your
No,
hands in file drawers, and drawers, and that sort of
yeah.
stuff.
Now everybody's just looking at their phone, and then they die because they were looking at their phone. Stop doing your selfies at national monuments and above, fast moving creeks and stuff like that. Stop doing those selfies.
I feel like I got to wait 10 years before I can do that educational film, though. You can't do educational films of the day, can you? Maybe you can. There must be one. There's got to be one.
There must be a selfie safety. Stupid selfie Sam. He thought he was going to take a fun picture at the lion's cage, and then he found the lion was disarmingly hungry.
I guess the thing now, if you're making that sort of film, like, you don't even know if you're being ironic or not. We're too postmodern.
I think,
are we being ironic? What are we doing?
We're being post-ironic.
Post-ironic. There we go.
That might be.